Hey everyone, normally you watch me stuff my face with calories and sugar, but today, because it's March, one of the best sporting events of the year is coming up, the March Madness NCAA Men's Basketball Championships. I'd say it's definitely top 3 sporting events of the year behind NHL Playoffs and obviously the Super Bowl. So today, I'll make my bracket predictions. All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to my official 2023 bracket breakdown video. Now, I know this is a last minute video because everything I do is last minute, but here's my bracket. So let's get into these predictions. Now, in the first four, Alabama will face the winner of the first four matchup between Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and Southeast Missouri. I'm going to go with Texas A&M, Corpus Christi to win that game, but I like Alabama pretty easily here. West Virginia, and Maryland. This is obviously the coin flip of the century, and of course they make this the first game of the tournament. But I'm gonna go with West Virginia there. I kind of like what their team has offensively a bit more. Okay, San Diego State and Charleston. Now a lot of people are going to be going Charleston here. I personally think San Diego State is a great team. I'm going to go with them. I think they'll be the team to break the 8-game losing streak that the Mount West has going on, the Mount West curse coming out of the Mountain West. And I think they're going to take Charleston there. Okay, so Virginia and Furman. Again, a lot of people have Furman with the upset here. I'm going to take Virginia, at least making it to the round of 32. I gotta trust Tony Bennett. He's won some national championship before, and I gotta trust him in Virginia to take that one. Then we got Creighton, North Carolina State. I actually really like Creighton here. I'm gonna take them going pretty far, so I got them winning that one easily. I know they've got some matchup problems versus North Carolina State, and a lot of people like North Carolina State, but I think that Creighton's gonna do well there. Next is Baylor and UC St. Barbara. This really could go either way as well, but I like Baylor to win that one. Could see a 14 versus 3 upset there, though. Okay. Next, we got Missouri and Utah State. So again, I don't know. This is another toss-up. I do like Utah State offensively. I don't think Missouri is as good defensively, even though they kind of are. They kind of have one of those havoc defenses, but I do like Utah State. I think their offense can get it done and pull them through here. And then Arizona, I think, has Princeton in that game. Pretty good, pretty confident about that one. 15 versus 2 seed. All right, now let's move down to the East. So first up, we've got Purdue and Texas Southern. Whoever wins that game versus Fairleigh Dickinson. I do like Texas Southern to win that game because I like Johnny Jones, and I'll have Purdue beating them in the first round there. Memphis versus FAU. This was a really tough matchup again. I'm going to take Memphis there, the 8th seed over the 9. And then Duke and Oral Roberts. Okay, this could be one of the games of the tournament right here. This will be at least the best game to watch in round 1, I think. I know a lot of people have Oral Roberts, that number 12 seed, upsetting Duke, but I'm going to go with Duke here. I'll take them. Now that Coach K's gone, it's tough to hate Duke quite as much. It's kind of like going to hell and the devil's not there anymore. So anyway, Tennessee versus Louisiana. I do like Tennessee in this game. And then we've got Kentucky and Providence. I actually like Providence here. I know a lot of people will be going for Kentucky, but I like Providence. I think I'm going to take them pretty far. I don't think Cal will get it done again this year, so I'm going to go with Providence. Kansas State versus Montana. We're going to go with Kansas State there. And then Michigan State versus USC. I know a lot of people taking both these teams pretty far in the bracket, or I'm sure a lot of people are anyway. I don't really talk to people, so but I'm sure that they'll be doing that. Let's see if the Michigan State fans can pull through. This is in Columbus, so I do like them there. USC has a lot of size, but again, it's in Columbus. I think Michigan State fans are just going to be too much for them. And then we've got Marquette versus Vermont. Vermont would be the 15 seeded to upset a 2 here, but I think Marquette's just too good. I'm going to take them on this one. All right, now moving over to the Midwest, another tough region to pick out of. I do like Houston over Northern Kentucky. I hope they win that game at least. I don't want to see that upset happen. And then Iowa versus Auburn, another tough 8 versus 9 seed. I mean, I kind of don't want to pick either of these teams, but considering they're playing each other, I like Auburn because this is basically a home game for them in Birmingham, sorry, in the Midwest. Next, we have Miami and Drake. This is another school that I said I was going to pick no matter what. I really like Drake. Miami's awesome too, but Drake's got a great program there, so we'll go with them. Kent State and Indiana. Now this is going to be my 13/4 upset. I think Kent State is another upset pick that I think they've just played so well against great teams in college basketball this year. They scheduled Houston, they scheduled Gonzaga, so I like them to win at least one game. So there's another upset pick for you. Iowa State versus Pittsburgh. Um, and I had Pittsburgh winning that first 4 in game versus Mississippi State, so I'm 1-for-1 for that. And against Iowa State, I actually like Iowa State a bit more here. Defensively, I think they play a lot better. They're just a much better, well-rounded team, much more well-rounded team, sorry, and they've really brought into TJ Austenberger. I've really bought into what he's selling me, so I'm going to go with Iowa State for that one. All right, Xavier versus Kennesaw State. We'll go with Xavier for that one. I like them to win that game. Texas A&M and Penn State. Now, this is one of the trickiest games of the NCAA tournament so far, but I do like Texas A&M to win this game. This is one of those games where maybe a week ago I would say no way they're winning that game, but after watching them in the Big Ten tournament this week, it's hard not to buy into what they're selling. I'm going to take Texas A&M in that game. Yeah, I'll take them with a little bit of fire there. I think they'll be playing with fire. So Texas versus Colgate. We'll go Texas versus Texas A&M. Again, Colgate's always a great upset team to take, but not this year. We'll go with Texas there. All right. Now, moving down to what I think is the best division, the best region, the West. A little bit biased because I do like the Huskies, but also look at this region. It's incredible. Kansas and Howard. I like Kansas to win that game. Arkansas versus Illinois again. Another tough one where either of these teams could go deep in the bracket. I'm gonna take Arkansas here on a coin toss up, but either of those teams could go deep. Could beat Kansas for sure. St. Mary's VCU. I'm going to go another 12 seed upset here, like VCU in that game. Next, we have my boys over at UConn, obviously taking them over Iona. Another one of those games that could go either way, but I'm going to confidently take the Huskies in that one. TCU and Arizona State or Nevada. I like Arizona State to win that game, but I'm going to take TCU over them. And then Gonzaga versus Grand Canyon. I do like Gonzaga here to go pretty far in the tournament. Kind of a funny matchup there, but I'll take Gonzaga. Northwestern versus Boise State. We're going to go another toss-up. I'm taking Boise State in this one, personally. I think that they haven't won a tournament game since like the 70s, so I feel like they got to win this one. And the coach's son is a senior. And he's honestly maybe one of their best players. So whenever you have a coach and their son's one of the best players, you got to at least give them one game in the tournament. Then UCLA, I know they got some injuries. Their best player, like top 3 defense in the states right now, in the country for college ball, is out. But playing through the injury, got to take UCLA number 2 seed there. All right, now that we're done with the first round, let's speed this up and get through the round of 32. So first up, we got Alabama versus West Virginia. That's pretty easy. I do like Alabama there still. San Diego State versus Virginia. This one, another tough one. I'm going to have to go with San Diego State here. I think this is where Virginia loses. I think they sneak past Furman in the first round, but round of 32, San Diego State's going to take them, going to the Elite 8. And then Creighton versus Baylor. Like I said, I do like Creighton to go pretty far in this one. Baylor's not a great team, not as good as everyone thinks anyway. So I'm going to take them. And then we've got Arizona State and Utah State. And in this one, I've got Arizona taking that game. So there you go. That's the South for you. All right, moving on down to the East, round of 32. I like Purdue to beat Memphis. Pretty easy pick for me there, although Memphis does have a good team. But I feel like it's hard to prep for Purdue on a one day when you have a one day in between the games. Then Duke, I do like them over Tennessee. Not going to take them out quite yet. I'm not sure they'll make it to the Final Four, but at least to the Elite Eight. Providence, Kansas City, um, or Kansas State, sorry. Yeah, I actually like Providence to make it on again, so I'm going to go with Providence there. And then we have Michigan State and Marquette. I do like Marquette here, even though Michigan State's got those fans still. I do like Marquette in that game. All right, moving on to the Midwest now. We've got Houston versus Auburn, and I do like Houston, number 1 seed, taking Auburn there. Like I said, Auburn didn't even want to pick them in the first round, but kind of had to against Iowa. So we'll take Houston confidently there. Drake versus Kent State, 12 versus 13 seed. I don't know if this will end up being the matchup in the round of 32, but if it is, I do like Drake over Kent State there. As I said, Drake can also make it pretty far in this tournament. They are a huge dog in this one. And then we've got Iowa State versus Xavier. I like Xavier to win this one. And Texas A&M versus Texas, who is a very tough one. I think that Texas could make it out in the Midwest here. So I'll have them going at least the Final Four. And then finally in the West, the best division of them all, in my opinion, we've got Kansas and Arkansas. This could really, really go either way, especially if Kansas or Arkansas plays the way they I know they can play. I'd like to take Arkansas. I may bet on them, at least the spread, but we'll take Kansas. And then stick with my boys in Connecticut versus VCU. And then Gonzaga versus TCU. Tough one here. Both teams are great. I could see TCU making a run in the Final Four, but we'll go with Gonzaga. And then we have Boise State versus UCLA. I do like UCLA to win that matchup, even through the injuries. I think that they're still one of the top teams in this tournament, so we'll take them there. All right, now we've got the Sweet 16. So coming up here into the South Sweet 16 section or region here. Alabama versus San Diego State. Tough one. I got to go Alabama going to the Final Four, though. They are one of the better teams in the tournament, so we got to take them at least to the Final Four. Then we have Creighton and Arizona. You know I like Creighton. They played each other once already this year. I know Creighton lost that game, but I just like this Creighton team too much. I'm going to take them upsetting Arizona in that game. Down in the East, we've got Purdue versus Duke. I do like Purdue to win there. I think that's where Duke falls off. So we'll take Purdue, taking them out. And then I actually have I'd like to take Providence, making it to the Final Four. An 11 seed in the Final Four doesn't usually happen, but you do see a lot of 7 seeds and up making it to the Final Four, so 11's not too far off, and this year is just a really good tournament all around. I think that upsets are going to be big. We'll take Providence going there. And then in the Midwest, we've got Houston and Drake. I do like Houston win there. I think that's where Drake's Cinderella story ends. We'll take Houston going to the Final Four, then Xavier in Texas. We're going to go with, you know what? I'm going back on my word. I'm going to switch Texas to Texas A&M. I'm going to take Texas A&M, taking Xavier. So we got a 7 seed, and we've got an 11 seed so far in the Sweet 16. And then Kansas versus UConn. Tough one here. I think someone's going to knock Kansas off. I think it's going to be UConn here in the Sweet 16. And I think it's going to be my boys over in Connecticut who do that. Get it done. And then Gonzaga and UCLA again. Asked me a couple weeks ago. I think that UCLA would have probably taken this game, but I like Gonzaga to win this game because without Jalen Clark, UCLA is really missing something, especially on defense. One of the best defensive players in college basketball, as I mentioned. It's going to be a huge blow to them, and I think Gonzaga can get it done, make it to the Elite Eight there. All right. Time for the Final Four. So we've got Alabama versus Creighton. Out of the South region, I got Creighton, number 6 seed, making it on, taking Alabama out. Alabama looks so dominant, but I'm going to trust this Creighton team. I know a lot of my predictions I'm really riding on some of these teams here, but I have watched a bit of the regular season, and I know that Creighton's got a really well-rounded starting five that I think could win in the NCAA tournament. They may not be as deep as Alabama, but I mean, Alabama is a bunch of criminals anyway, so we're going to take Creighton in that game. Then moving on to the East region in Madison Square Garden, we have Zach Edey versus Oscar Tshiebwe. Hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. This is one of those matchups that more than likely won't happen, but I'm picking it. And I do like Purdue here. This is where Providence's Cinderella story ends, I think. Zach Edey, great player. Matt Painter, Final Four players. This team is just great all around. So we're going to fade off Providence in this round, and we're going to take Purdue. All right, now we've got the Midwest region. Now, this was one that took me the longest to get through, I think. We've got Houston versus Texas A&M. I really do like that Texas A&M team, so I feel bad about not taking Houston, but I think this is where they get knocked off by a number 7 seed, Texas A&M, lowest seed going into the Final Four, so far. And then UConn versus Gonzaga, really tough one. Bulldogs versus Huskies, couple dogs playing it out, trying to make it to the Final Four. I mean, really tough one. I think everyone's fading Gonzaga, and I'm going to have to do the same here too. Against UConn, got to stick with my boys. Got to stay loyal. Take UConn in that one. All right, let's get this sorted out. Final Four now. Creighton versus Purdue. Very tough one. I'd like to. I got to take at least one number 1 seed making it to the finals, so we'll go with Purdue in that one. And then UConn versus Texas A&M. Two teams that people may be laughing at me for, but we're gonna go with. Got to stay loyal here. Taking the 4th seeded University of Connecticut Huskies to win the NCAA men's basketball tournament, and that's what we're taking as the winner. So that's going to do it for my bracket breakdown. You can laugh at me in the comments. Please make fun of all my predictions, putting it out there to the world. Let's see what happens here. But there you have it. That's what I have, and I'm going to submit my picks. And there you go. Tournament champions, UConn, Huskies, University of Connecticut, Huskies to win. Those are my boys, sticking with them. Hope you enjoyed the unpredictability of what I was doing, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching.